Hello everybody, my name is Splattercat and welcome to the first episode of what's going to be our launch LP of Don't Starve. This is a game that I've had a ton of fun with. You guys know that. I very rarely do 60 episode series unless I very much like them. So where we're at right now, we're going to start off with a new LP and we're just going to see where it goes. I feel like there's been 2 to 3 content patches since our last playthrough ended. So I feel like there's enough content now to where I'm actually going to be able to generate things to talk about. So let's choose a new slot here. We're going to start a new game. We're going to customize our world. Now, I have played around with this a little bit on the side. However, a lot of this is new to me, so I don't know how many of these really need to be adjusted, but I know that I do want to make the world size a little bit larger so that we have a bit more to play with. That all out of the way, what does this do? Oh god, there's so many options. That is crazy. So you can now customize almost everything about the world, it appears, that you want. I'm just going to adjust the world size and leave everything else on default, so we'll apply that there. Let's change our character. So let's decide who we want to play as. I don't really know who I want to make this run through as. I'm semi-tempted to do the mime. I've played him on my own a little bit on the side. I don't know who the final character is. They added a new character. Interesting. So let's go, you know what, I'm going to do WX78 because he is by far my favorite character that I've played out of all the characters. He has the funniest little quips, he has the funniest quotes, and so that done, let's generate this world and get going. I was a little bit conflicted about starting this back up again because I wasn't positive. I tried to start recording before, and I sat down and I thought to myself, well, I've kind of run out of things to talk about. After you've done 60 episodes of a series, you semi-run out of things to discuss when it comes down to actually playing the game. Like, there's not a whole lot of topics that I can touch on anymore, but I am going to try and make this as informative as possible for people that are coming new into the series. And so this is Maxwell right here. He is our enemy. He is the foe. He's the one who transported us here to this crazy island. And so first things first, the people that have been on my channel for a while know that I like to go for a 20-20-20 rule. I like to have everything at 20. So 20 food, 20 sticks, 20 grass. That is my rule of thumb, as it were, when I try to start the game out. And we've already got a gobbler here. Gobblers are a little bit troublesome because they eat the berries off of bushes, if you didn't know that already. I'm going to be using that sentence a lot as we go forward, if you didn't know already. So if it gets on your nerves that I say that, it's because I have a lot of Don't Starve veterans on this channel, and then I would like to attract some, novices or people that don't really know what they're doing, some newer players, so that they can check this out because it's a really cool game. If you haven't checked it out yet, I can't think of a better way to spend your $14 or your $11 if you get it on Steam. This game is just amazing. Cly Entertainment has really just knocked it out of the ballpark with this game. So what we're doing right now is we can just go around and we're just gathering sticks, we're gathering grass, just grabbing all those little things we're going to need for the future of our journey. Additionally, the number one thing we're going to be looking out for in the early game, so a lot of people don't know this, don't plant your base until you find the beefalo herd. Now the beefalos are some big furry buddies that you want to find. They're kind of like buffaloes, but they have weird moose antlers. They are a strange critter, but they produce the feces, they produce the nasty poo that you require in order to get your farming industry up and going, and you're going to want to gather loads of that. So if you're not near a beefalo herd, you're going to be in trouble. There are alternate ways to get your hands on some manure. You can find cities full of pigmen, and I'm trying not to do spoilers, but you can feed the pigmen various things, various objects you find around. They will eat them, they will consume them, and then they will produce manure as well that you can use for your farms. But that method is it takes too much consumption. That's a consumer economy. So you're going to be sitting there just feeding away all of your resources, trying to get enough manure to produce more resources. So realistically, you want to conjure resources out of nothing, or take resources and turn them into more valuable resources. When you're consuming resources to get something equally valuable or less valuable out, that's the point at which you really want to reconsider the way that your flow of gameplay is going. Now, there are multiple biomes, and actually I'm excited to see this up here. This is going to be a good thing. If we look up here, we've already got a prairie biome. Hopefully that's not a little sliver. I'm going to finish gathering here just to see if we can get 20 grass, and then we're going to make ourselves a couple things that we're going to need for the future. We've also got some stone here, which is going to be nice. We need that stone because it's where gold is going to drop from, and once we get our hands on some gold, we're going to be able to get ourselves crafting away on some of the scientific machines we're going to need to survive. So there is our 20 grass, we've got our 20 twigs, and we've got 16 food. And so we'll grab that. For the newer players, you can shift and left click on anything and it'll give you a little comedic quip. A lot of the characters have funny things that they say, especially Wilson and especially WX78. Those are the two that by far seem to be the ringers as far as comedy goes. I have actually been very surprised by how funny the writing is for WX78 as a character. Wilson as well. I think it's mostly because both of them are the snarky characters, and I myself am a very sarcastic, caustic kind of person when I'm put in a stressed situation. I'm very caustic. I'm very aggressive when I get put in a situation like that. Just like passive-aggressive type deal. So I can totally relate to being teleported to some strange island. I do a lot of field work. I'm a geologist for those of you out there that don't know. I do a lot of field work, and I can very much relate to that weird survivalist, passive-aggressive, I hate my life feeling that a lot of the characters seem to have going, because there's something about sleeping on rocks and sticks and grass and being warmed by a fire like 12 days in a row that just seems to put you in a bad mood. Like the first couple days, there's novelty. Like novelty seems to be the stilts upon which that whole thing relies, and once that... Hey, you back off, jerk. Oh, he was just going to the bush. Oh, he's going to eat the berries out of the bush as well. All right, so we've got a nice supply of food here. We've got 24 food, and we've got a little bit of time. Now, for the newer players, up here in the top right corner, you've got your day meter, your clock. You want to pay careful attention to this because nighttime is death in this game. Everything gets worse at night. So just take the Minecraft factor of dangerousness or just that risk and multiply it, and that's what you're going to end up in this game. Not a lot of nice things are going to happen to you at night. Because night is coming, it's time for us to go over to our left-hand menu over here in our tools. We're going to make ourselves an axe, and let's get rolling. So we're going to chop down some trees. That's a very important part of the game. You will be doing a lot of deforestation. If you are not just lumberjacking like crazy, you are probably not doing it right. There are very few ways to accumulate wood in this game in efficient manners. So as long as we can get ourselves, I'd say probably a good 20 to 40 wood before nightfall here. I'm very skeptical that we'll get 40 wood before nightfall, but we do want to get ourselves a handful of goodies. So hopefully we can get ourselves enough loggy goodness before nightfall comes along so that we don't have to waste further days grabbing this stuff. For tomorrow's itinerary, I think we're going to spend the day mining and looking for beefalo. Exploration is important because you are on strict time criteria. You are actually on a pretty stressed schedule in this game. You have about 10 days of leeway, so bear that in mind if you're a new player. Once this gets to day 10, everything in the world starts to get worse. So you want to make sure that before 10 days comes along, you have all of your vitals done. You've got enough victuals to fill your tummy, you've got enough wood to get things built, you've got enough stone to make walls, and you've got enough gadgetry to keep yourself well informed. Information is a premium in this game. You want to know when winter's coming, you want to know when the lightning storms are coming, you want to know all those various aspects, because the more informed you are, the better your chances are of surviving and not starving. And since that's the name of the game, quite literally, I'm not even being punny here, that is the name of the game. We want to make sure that we don't starve. So hopefully this will be a long-running series. Hopefully we do not starve, because I don't want to embarrass myself again like I did in my last. Season 1 and Season 2 went okay, but Series 3 was just a little bit embarrassing, I think. Or was it Series 4 that ended after like 5 days? I think one of them, I ended up just going completely batshit nutty, at which point I was completely unable to survive with all the weird shadows and things attacking me. It happened. You know, I address it. I kind of try and sweep it under the rug a little bit, but it did happen, unfortunately. Hopefully this one's a lot longer running. I'd like to get this one out to 80, 100 days like some of my better plays. Just show off things. Plus, I'm willing to bet it's probably going to take a pretty decent amount of XP for me to unlock the new character, which I didn't even know was in the game. So I am fueling my fire, both in-game and out of game, by the fact that I can earn myself a new character through this Let's Play. So, for those of you new to the channel, with my Don't Starve plays, every single episode during nightfall, because you can sleep through night, but it uses up your resources, it uses up a lot of your hunger, and so forth. I try to stay up through the night, and since it is the summer right now, the nights are going to be a lot shorter. So I always have a question for you guys, and so my question for you today is going to be your favorite dinosaur. I was thinking about this because I got this crazy iPhone app where you build like Jurassic Park, which it's one of those ridiculous money farming games where you have to pay to make everything go quicker, and it takes your buildings like 15 minutes to build. And I've been playing the hell out of it just because it's dinosaurs, and every geologist has a little paleontologist in them. You have to take a reasonable amount of paleontology and biology courses to be a geologist, so paleontology is an interest because it helps you identify like the age of things. Like a fossil is a very nice indicator, but I'm getting off track here. I very much like dinosaurs, and so it doesn't even bother me that it's a weird money farming scheme. I play it anyways, just because there's dinosaurs everywhere. So my favorite dinosaur, and I'm probably going to butcher this name, is Ankylosaurus. It's that kind of armadillo-looking dinosaur with all the spikes, and then he's got a spiky tail. It's kind of like an armadillo had sex with a stegosaurus. That's my favorite one. So put that down in the comments, your favorite dinosaur. If you don't know, go Google it, because there are some badass dinosaurs out there. And I bet within a few Google searches, you will find like the first 3 or 4 hits, you're probably going to like Google badass dinosaurs, and that's probably where you're going to end up. So before we go hunting for our beefalo friends, I'm going to make myself a mining pick. You can find that right here in the tools menu. And the reason for doing this is that we need to get our scientific progress up. Now, in beta, the game functioned on a research point system where you got points for donating items to your science machine. You basically burned them up. You kind of destroyed them in a chemical process, I guess, and then you would get points out. But now how the game works is every single time you start the map over, it resets all your research. So we need to get a research machine, and we need to start prototyping some gadgetry so that we can get ourselves nice and situated before too much time comes to pass. Now, we don't have a lot of stone mines down here, unfortunately, so we are going to have to go look for either a Badlands biome or another prairie, or you can find rocks kind of scattered in all biomes. They're hard to come across, but I'm going to follow this prairie in the errant hope, or in the slight hope, that we will find some beefalos, although I don't think this prairie is going to go on forever. I really do hope that we find beefalos early on in the series. I hate it when I end up wandering around the map for weeks at a time trying to find beefalo herds, especially when I do this on camera, because then I feel like I'm dragging you guys around by the nose. Nothing cool is happening, nothing good is occurring, and we're going to see if right here, hey, gold! So we're going to grab ourselves some of these nougats. I love nougat, by the way. Nougat is the best part of any candy bar. I love candy. I've discussed this further in other episodes, but for those of you new to the channel, like, I have a major sweet tooth. I have a sweet tooth like the size of Kansas. You know, just if there's a geographical place around you that is quite large, just fill that in. I like candy the size of that unit area around you, so let's get these mines taken care of. There is some nitro right there. I have no clue what to use that for. It's been a while since I played last. There have been 3 content patches since the last time I played this game, so it is very, very different. However, some things are still the same. I do like how the rocks actually have flecks of gold in them now. That actually helps me with my immersion. It makes me feel like I should go for these ones. Oh no, fuel reserves are low, and we broke our pickaxe. So as with so many survival games, it's very important to keep yourself fed, and also your tools break. So you're always going to be looking for new stuff. The other side effect of these mines is that we're getting a lot of flint out of them, and you are just going to go through oodles of flint. You're going to go through just gobs and gobs of flint. Our churty friend, you're going to go through loads and loads of it before this whole ordeal is finished. So I don't want to get sidetracked too much further by just picking things up off the ground. Picking up rocks like this is way, you know, I get that strange feeling that I've been here before whenever I'm running around picking up rocks off the ground, because that's basically what an early geologist does for like the first year of his education. It's mostly just picking up rocks and being like, ooh, this is shiny, and moving along. So let's iron this out, and hopefully we can get up to this biome. I don't see any ready access to that area. However, we are hungry, so I'm going to grab that bush right there. Never have a problem rustling through the bush. And yeah, it's not going to connect through here. So let's head back this way. I'm going to wait till hunger gets down a little bit lower to feed myself. Now, I didn't talk about the special abilities of my character. So if you are new to the channel, the abilities of WX78 is that he can eat food when it's rotten or stale, and it doesn't bother him at all. He's completely good to go in that regard. Some of the other characters I think are more useful with their special ability. In fact, I would say that there are some special abilities that are imbalanced because they eliminate entire facets of the game. However, WX78 seems to strike a reasonable balance with his special abilities, so I feel like his is good without completely... Oh, that's an isolated island. Interesting enough. So I see another little strip of prairie up here, and that's interesting that there's that little island over there with resources on it. Maybe someday they'll give you kind of the Zelda-esque ability to jump in between these islands, but I feel good about this prairie right here so long as it doesn't end. Hopefully we find beefalos. Beefa buddies! I wish I had a beefalo call right about now, because I would just be blowing on it ridiculously. So let's grab a bit more grass here. And I don't want to deploy my initial base. I really want to avoid the whole deployment phase as long as I can until we find these beefalos. But you know, I'm gonna be hopeful here. I'm gonna try and stay optimistic. But unfortunately, it looks like I'm running into one of those times where they are not going to be forgiving with the distribution of our beefing friends, our large-boned bovine friends. So maybe he's up in this right corner. Maybe they prefer the northeasterly climes, but I don't see them there either. We do have a lot of rabbit holes, so we're going to keep an eye on those, and I do believe that spider is being quite aggressive with me. Now, unfortunately, since we're not finding beefalos, we're going to be sort of transient for the time being. We're not going to be able to put down roots, as it were. We are going to spend our time afield. So here's a Badlands biome, which gives us the excellent opportunity to mine through the night, so we're going to do that. Ooh, I don't want to build the permanent fire pit. Let's just build the temporary one. And let me get a few more pickaxes going, because we're going to get all of these nodes out of the way, and those are enormous trees. Pathetic tree drops no babies. Alright, so I don't know what the difference is between these trees. Maybe I'll fiddle with those in just a moment. But yeah, I've never seen that tree graphic before. Maybe it's just specific to the biome. Who knows? Now, you do want to get a reasonable stockpile of gold, and there is a cheesy way to do this. So there's a cheesy way, and yeah, there's the cheesy easy way, and then there's this way that I'm doing it right now, where we go through, we mine out all of these nodes, and the reason I'm choosing one over the other, so we could go to the Pig King and just give him goodies that we find around. By goodies, I mean things you have grave robbed, and you can rotate the camera like I just did by using the arrow keys that are on your numpad for some people's keyboards, just in case you were wondering how I swung the camera around like that. I used to resist the urge, but now I do it quite frequently. My audience has a wonderful effect on me. I used to resist rotating the camera because I would get all disoriented, but nowadays, okay, so there we go. We're going to cook these up, and I've actually run out of space, which is a little bit of a downer. I think 6 carrots should be able to get her done. It should at least get me reasonably refilled, so I feel like carrots may have been nerfed in their usefulness. So let's throw a couple logs on the fire. That'll free up some space. And then let's cook the berries because they seem to be getting rotten a little bit quicker than the carrots are. So I want to be efficient in my food usage. That 5 right there. There we go. So I like where our health is at right now. Let's build the fire up a little bit further using the pine cones so that we don't waste our wood. There we go, and you can see my light radius has expanded. Now you want to be careful. This can catch fire. If these trees were a little bit closer, you could start a forest fire. You could make Smokey the Bear cry, and the whole thing would just be nasty. You would end up with a lot of charcoal, though, which we are going to need charcoal in the future. But anyways, getting back to what I was saying, the reason we're not donating things to the Pig King is because we're out and about anyways, and we're next to all these mines, so why not? We need the stone, we need the flint. The rocks are going to be very important for us in the future because we want to build stone walls around our city. Building stone walls are going to allow us to be inflammable, or is that... I always get those mixed up. I think inflammable means it actually will catch fire. Anyways, so it's going to make us so that we are flame retardant, meaning when things try to come and set fire to our base, they will fail miserably, they will go home crying, and we will go home snickering and happy because we still have a home and they don't. Just And so we'll grab these rocks, and we've just about depleted the surrounding area, and we're going to go into our third and final day, still looking for the beefalo herd, and if we don't find them, we may put down roots near the nearest... What is that red? I see red on the map right here. That's odd. So maybe I'll head down that way in between episodes and take a look. Obviously, I'm not going to look at it without you guys, because there's a lot of things to discover for me as a player right now in this game. But hopefully there will be something that we can locate, and we got a couple seconds left, so let me destroy this last mine, maybe get this pickaxe out of my inventory, because I don't want to carry around a 15% pickaxe with me everywhere. So yeah, we'll just drop that on the ground, not even going to worry about it, and let's get back to searching for our beefa buddies. So they're probably going to be down below, maybe, unless we have to go find another... Yeah, let's make a swing back through this southwesterly quarter because I have missed beefalos on previous playthroughs every now and again. Sometimes I won't completely search an area and there'll be like 2 beefalos hiding, and they do breed, so if you have 2 beefalos, you want to be aware that they do have beefalo sex and they do have beefalo babies, if you wanted to be crude about it. And then they produce those, you let them grow up, and then you have even more manure being produced. So yeah, there's nothing here for us, and I don't know if I should head... Let's head west. Let's head west. Nothing horrible has ever happened when people headed west, said the Donner Party. So let's go out this way. We're going to try and avoid cannibalizing anything. We've got a nice open space here. Hey, it looks like we made the right decision. So fantastic. On camera, you guys increase my luck so much. You guys are my lucky charm. I swear to God. Every time I do this off camera, it takes me 10 days plus to find the beefalo herd. Every time I do it on camera, you guys are a good luck charm, I'm telling you what. And this is actually a pretty big beefalo herd now. You don't want to put down roots right next to the beefalo herd, and the reason for this is when they go into mating season, their little bums will be all red from the friction. And what in the hell is this? Creepy. Alright, well, the free spear. Never turn down a free spear. Free beefalo wool, too, and a free beefalo hat. I definitely... Oh, the beefalo hat becomes... Oh, it degrades now. So, we're going to want to save the beefalo hat. The beefalo hat is an item whose function is the beefalo think you're one of them. So, if you get attacked while wearing a beefalo hat, the beefalo will come and defend you. And also, if they're in breeding season, they won't bother you. Now, it would be kind of funny if they tried to mate with you, but I bet they're trying to keep the E rating or the teen rating on this one. Now, the beefalo fur we can make into clothing, but I don't have the inventory space at the moment, so let's roll through. And actually, this flat space over here is not so bad for a starting area. So I think I'm going to put down roots over here. It's very cool that we're going to be able to make our base in the first episode. So the first thing you want to do when putting down roots is make your science machine. You can see that we can craft it here. It's all nice and green. And we're going to make a science machine first and foremost. That's going to cost us some gold. It's going to cost us a little bit of wood. And I really actually like this whole space. We have a nice little open area here. I don't have to tree. I don't have to deforest. I don't have to tree. I don't have to deforest. I don't have to lumberjack anything. I don't have to destroy any stones. We have a road right here for Speedy Boost EX 64-bit edition. And so let's prototype some gear. The first thing we want to prototype is in our survival menu. We're going to prototype a backpack. And that's going to jump straight onto our back. You'll see it adds it straight onto the character. That's one of the things I love about this game is that everything is graphical. And we're going to take our beefalo hat off because we want to save that for later. And the other things we want to prototype are the refined versions of all of the resources we have. So everything you have can be refined. So stone becomes stone blocks, boards become planks, or yeah, wood becomes boards, and then the grass becomes rope. So let's make ourselves some boards because we are going to need a bunch of boards to make our next science machine. And I want to get this all wrapped up early. So there it is. We've got ourselves 4 boards, and let's look at our list that we need for the nicer stuff. For the alchemy engine, we need 2 blocks. So let's put in 2 blocks now. And so where, oh yeah, refining menu. There we go. I had a major brain fart there, just and my brain just totally gave out on me. I'm going into finals week in the next 2 weeks. I have so many projects and midterms and just chemistry projects and physics projects and just all kinds of things. And I'm not talking like, you know, junior projects. I'm talking like the senior projects that allow me to graduate. So I am just butchered mentally right now. I have no idea what's going on half the time. I just walk about in a state of stupor. I sleep like I'm in a ridiculous torpor. It's just ridiculous. So this alchemy engine right here, what does it do? Well, it allows us to craft more stuff. So you could think of this as opening up your tier 1 tech branch. This opens up your tier 1 and your tier 2. So realistically, we don't even need this anymore. I could take a hammer and break this down if I wanted to, and I probably will in the future. But let's look into some of the more valuable things that we're going to need. So we're going to want a jerking rack. So let's go to our survival menu and let's take a look through here. Or is it in our construction menu? It may be in our construction menu. I don't necessarily remember. So we've got signs, hay walls, wood walls, stone walls, pig houses, and bird cages. So no, it's not going to be in here. Let's go back to our, I guess, food menu. There it is, the drying rack. So we need charcoal for the drying rack, which means we're going to have to start a forest fire. Unfortunately, that's going to be a necessity. But we can do a farm right now. So let's start our original farming. I think I'm going to put my farms down here to the south. Farming is very important in this game, and we've got rain. That's very unfortunate. Did I forget to re-rotate the camera? I think I did. So that's actually the way we're going to be facing. It doesn't affect us too much. It kind of makes all this look weird. That's fine. I'm probably going to destroy the science machine anyway. So this is as good a spot as any. I was talking about farming, but we'll talk about that in the next episode. This is as good a spot as any to break off this first episode. My name is Splattercat. If you've enjoyed the videos, I hope you'll choose to join me next time. I will be making this into as long of a series as possible. And so that all out of the way, I'll see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed it, and take care out there, everybody.